All right. Good morning, everybody. Just my screen a little bit here. And all right. It's a beautiful morning in the Pacific Northwest because it has rained. Yay. Rain has landed. Things may not look so brown after a couple of days. That will be a nice thing. And we're currently only like 52 degrees. And here the other day we're in the 90s. What a temperature difference. But I like it. I love it. Well, thank you for joining me today on this continuing education. This is all about using essential oils and other modalities when that is part of the option to what I'm speaking about and to educate you. First off and foremost, this is nothing about treating, curing, or diagnosing anything. These are information about using essential oils and how you can use them and how they can be incorporated in your daily life for the things that you would not things that you would normally reach for off the shelf somewhere. So I really love what I have because we have something that can benefit everybody one way or the other. So a little bit real quick about me. I left the dental field after about 30 years and was at that time I was introduced to essential oils. Didn't really have a whole lot of information about them. But as I learned of them and realized what their benefits were, I was like, wow, this is amazing, and people really don't know anything about them. The most you might know is they smell wonderfully, right? And so most of us pick up what we think is an essential oil, so we pick up things that are synthetic. So I'm here to help educate you on what is synthetic versus something that's pure. And to help you understand actually what they do in the body to help you with what you deal with on a daily basis or what you deal with occasionally, because I really hope if you have something that you deal with on a daily basis that you're seeing a doctor. Okay, so after that 9 months of learning about essential oils, I finally took a plunge and said, people need to be educated. And so I joined doTERRA as a journey to, as a business and to share with other people and to educate those people. And it's been a wonderful journey so far. And I really enjoy being able to help people with natural remedies that are fast-acting and cost-effective. Because everybody has a budget, and we all need to learn how we can save just a little bit more money and have something that works just a little bit faster, and we have something that's for multiple uses versus just one use. So today, it kind of came up over the weekend. I spent 4 days at a fair. I always love that because you never know who you're going to meet. And I love that every single year I find there's more and more people either know about essential oils or that they're using essential oils. And I think that's awesome because the change is coming. It's here. And I think that that's a wonderful thing because people are tired of medications with side effects. They're tired of just having to go to the doctor for something, and here's a way to help you with your daily living. And so what came up, and this is kind of a strange thing. I always say that there's no such thing as coincidence. And the other morning, my husband woke up and complained about his ears hurting. Now, a lot of you know who my husband is. Well, he works outside on a daily basis. And for him to wake up with a scratchy throat and the ears hurting is like, okay, you've been in the wind too much or something has happened, right? So I immediately I reached for a bottle of essential oil and put it behind his ear. And what I reached for was basil, this little jar right here, okay? Yes, you smell like spaghetti. but it does a really good job. Well, he's, a few minutes later, his ears quit hurting. While I was at the fair, and this happened yesterday, we had a couple come with their children, and my husband started talking with them and was telling them about his ears. And immediately, the mother says, "Oh, that's what we're battling with this child here. She's complaining about her ears, and they keep putting her on amoxicillin, and I really don't want to do that all the time because it disrupts their digestive system. Plus, they can build an immunity with it."
Right.
That's never a coincidence. And I think that is like, oh my gosh, that's what I need to talk about, right? That right there. And so immediately we talked about basil, and so she bought some, of course, and plus I gave her information to learn more about essential oils. Well, so here I am. We're going to discuss what basil does and how basil is so good for the problems with the ears, but it's a whole lot more, right? So what are essential oils? First off, essential oils are from all different plant matter. So they're the aromatic volatile compounds that are found in plants. So when you smell a flower or rub a spearmint leaf or any herb, what are you smelling? You're smelling the aromatic compounds that are within that herb or within that plant. We all love flowers, right? But did you know that there are benefits to their essential oil that they carry? So they're aromatic volatile compounds. So those compounds either attract you or they are helping prevent from disease. They're helping in keeping predators away because some of them don't smell very good, right? Why is that? Because they don't want them to come in and eat them. So if that essential oil is good for plant matter, then why wouldn't it be good for us? We eat herbs all day long, right? Or we eat other things all day long. Now I'm not talking about meat because you can't get an essential oil out of meat. Okay? I'm talking about anything plant matter, roots, seeds, bark, stems, flowers, okay? Those are what you get essential oils from. And they have multiple benefits for each essential oil. They all have a signature of their own. And so we can see that a lot of your essential oils do a lot of the same thing, but what is it that you really want more of? And that's where you have to look into the science, okay? Because science is the compounds of the essential oil and knowing what can reduce your blood sugars or help in reducing blood sugars. What can help in your respiratory system? What can help in your immune system? What's the best for all that? Plus, every single body is different. So if they have their own signature, you have your own fingerprint, right? So if they're unique to what they have, then what you're going to want is to find the one that works best for you because they react to your chemistry, which is really interesting. So like perfume is a really good one to help you understand that. If a woman goes, or even a man, you go to a perfume counter somewhere and you put some perfume on you, you think that smells great, right? But you put it on you, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, that doesn't smell very good on me. Why is that? Or you smell something that doesn't really smell that great, and you put it on you, and you're like, oh my gosh, that's awesome, right? Because it reacts to the body's chemistry. And that's why you can wear a perfume and it smells great on you, but I wear it and it's like, oh my gosh, it smells like dirt, right? So that's where the chemical compounds come in. They make things change they react to our bodies. So now, you use them 3 different ways. You use them aromatically, which is just take the lid off. There's a lid. Okay, take it off and smell it. Okay, it reacts. Our brain reacts to that. Our whole body reacts to that. So when's the last time you smelled something that reminded you of someone? Or maybe you smelled something and you're like, oh my gosh, who burnt whatever? I think if you cook, there's a lot of us that tend to do that. So that's the aromatic. You can change someone's mood just that simple, okay? You can get rid of your nauseated stomach that simple by just smelling an essential oil. You can smell peppermint or ginger, and that nausea feeling will go away. There are hospitals starting to give you choices like that, and I think that's awesome because I prefer that over a shot. I think you would too. So now, that's how you use them aromatically. Then you use them topically. So topically, just put it where it hurts, okay? Wherever you want it, you put it. If you want to put it through the digestive system, which is take it just right out of the bottle, or put it in a capsule, empty capsule, and swallow it that way and run it through the digestive system, you can do that. But there's my caution. My caution to you is read the label, read the back of it. Is it meant for consumption? Now, doTERRA has a supplement fact, and I'll let you see this. So there is a supplement fact on there, okay? That supplement fact will tell you that you can dilute 1 drop in 4 fluid ounces of water or juice or anything liquid, right? What that means is that it meets the GRAS standard, which was established back in, like, I think 1958 or 38 actually. They've done some changes along the way. And what that means is generally regarded as safe for consumption, okay? That is why there's a supplement fact on the bottle. Not all essential oils are consumable, so please read the label always. When you go places like Hobby Lobby, Penny's, some of your other stores that have all of a sudden have essential oils, you're not necessarily getting a very pure product. In fact, when you see the label, you're going to see that say 100% pure essential oil. Really, what does that mean? Because if you cannot take it internally, if it's basil and they say you can't take this internally or don't apply it to your skin, what else is there? What else is in that bottle? It only means that 100% only means that you're getting a little bit, a teeny tiny bit of basil, like 10%. All right? And then it's still, they do not need to tell you if it's synthetically produced, okay? Or if it's chemical extraction, which is the fastest and easiest way to give you any product with essential oil. So please be cautious about that, and remember that whatever you smell and whatever you put on you goes in the bloodstream, okay? Doesn't matter, that's where it's going, right? Internally, it means that it's going through the digestive system. So if you want it to go through the digestive system, that's what you have to look at. Otherwise, there are some people that really don't believe in putting anything through the digestive system. That's fine. That's what you get to choose. We have choices, right? But basil is something you can cook it. I think most people are familiar with basil, right? So we can use basil aromatically, topically, and internally, because it has a supplement fact. And most of us know that we can cook with basil, right? I do. And I use this. I don't go to the store and get an imitation when I don't get the herb, because this essential oil came from the herb. But it takes a whole lot of plant matter to get just a few drops, okay? So swimmer's ear, earaches, anything with the ear, basil is good for, right? And all you have to do is put a little bit here behind the ear. You have that little bone back there, but just apply some back there. Now, here's what I will say. There's an orifice reducer. Okay, that's an orifice reducer. That allows it so that only a drop at a time comes out. If you do the perfume thing like this, you're not getting a full drop. Okay, you want to take a full drop and let it drip, and then put it behind your ear. And I'm going to go ahead and do this. That's all you do, just like that. That's simple. And you'll smell like spaghetti for the rest of the day. No, just not the whole day. Only for a few hours, okay? It will dissipate. But people, if you don't want to smell like basil, okay, you don't have to put it behind the ear. There are other places with the reflex points. So how many of you know about reflexology? If you don't, and you're using essential oils, I would suggest taking a look at some charts. A lot of different books that have charts. And I have a couple of different books, but I'm going to show you a chart real quick so you know where else you can put essential oils. And hopefully you can see this, but this is the foot. And right there and there, the bottom of those toes is where you can apply your essential oil for the ears, okay? And it's the same on your hand. The hand, it is right here and here. These two right here, those are your reflex points for the ears. So if you don't really want to put it behind your ear and you're going to put your shoes and socks on, then you can put it on the base underneath the toes. Okay, those are the little pinky. Okay, let me show you that again. Okay, it is the pinky and the one next to it. Can you see this? Maybe? Okay, so the two smallest toes underneath at the base, okay? That is your reflex points for the ears. Then nobody needs to smell you all day, okay? Now, the other thing you can do is put it in a capsule, put 1 or 2 drops in a capsule and swallow it. Nobody's going to smell it then. You're going to taste it no matter what, but everybody else will not be able to smell you, okay? So just so you know that tidbit. So what else does basil do? Oh my gosh, this little bottle is good for so many things. So let's read. So I have a Modern Essentials book, and I also have this book. It's called the Essential Life book, and you can find it online. There's plenty of places to get books. And then there is the Modern Essential book. Okay, I like that one too. And there's a difference between the two of them. And when you are looking at both of them, one has more science and the other has recipes. This one here has recipes in it, and for cooking or your dog, your cat, whatever you want, this book has it. Okay, I think that's why I like this as a beginner book, because it has a little bit of everything for people to understand and learn. So basil. What else is basil good for? So we already know that you can apply it behind your neck, or excuse me, behind your ear for earaches. Now, I know that this little girl, that her mom got the basil yesterday, I know today is feeling a whole lot better. And I also have, even in the beginning when I first started out with this, we found a friend that her daughter, she had one daughter that kept complaining about her ears hurting all the time, was consistently going in to the doctor, but it wasn't bad enough for them to put tubes in her ears. And so we suggested basil, and sure enough, it totally helped. She didn't have the earaches as often as she used to, and she totally got better, and they never did have to put tubes in her ears. That saved them over $2,000, because that would have been a surgery that they were pushing for, and so the insurance wasn't going to pay for it. Only if the doctor said yes, right? So if you push for something, they're not necessarily going to do that. So there's another reason for thinking about using essential oils as an alternative. Okay, so what else can we do with it? You can apply it under the nose, or to the bottoms of the feet, the back of the neck, your forehead, and over the adrenal area if you have adrenal fatigue. Do you know where your adrenal is? Want me to show you? I can show you that too. That's another thing that's in here that these books are good for. And on the bottom of the feet, in fact, let me show you. I love being able to show people things because then it seems to be more, it's easier to understand when you see something versus just hearing about it, because the brain remembers things more. And I'll get back to my spot here. But where is it on the reflex point? Okay. All right. The adrenal on the hands, right there, is right there, right at the base, okay? Which that part of this right here represents your spine, all along here. Everything through here is your spine. The base here and as it goes up. So if you hurt, your back hurts, you can't reach it, put it right there. Okay, that's an option. So what about the feet? Okay, so let me show you on the feet. And so I can get it right. And your eyes, let me find it. Thyroid, you have your thyroid, you have your eyes, you have your shoulder, your liver, your gallbladder, your adrenal, which is right almost center. Let's see if I can show you this or not. So right there is where the adrenal gland is. So almost center of the foot, just kind of off to the outside a little bit. If you rub it all over your foot, you can't miss, right? And you're going to hit everything, or a lot of things. So those are the areas that you can put for the adrenals, okay, so that you know that other people won't smell you if you don't want to. And let me go to the right page to show you. I didn't mark all this because I didn't think that I would go to that. But I'm not finding it. So what I am going to do is, since you know where the reflex points are, most of you know where your adrenals are. And I'm going to tell you what else. I know it's back here. It's in the back of the book. And you know, always mark your pages first. You don't have to go through everything. There is a chart back here. And it's an awesome chart because it tells you exactly what's what. So, Basil. This is really good. Okay? It's a nice chart. It's a little different spot than the other one. So, Basil. It tells you how you can use it. You can apply it to adult. You can apply it to a child. You can apply it topically to each. And if you're pregnant, it's okay if you're pregnant. Okay? But what they are doing is that it's safe to use with a heavy dilution and consult a physician before using if pregnant or ill. Okay? So if you're taking a medication, always check with your doctor first, right? Make sure that there's no adverse reactions or things that will contradict the medication that you're taking. Always do that. And besides that, the more often that we talk to our doctors about this, the more that they will learn. And if we ask questions, then they're supposed to help us in finding the best solution for us. Okay. So basil is good for autism, bronchitis, we already know about earaches, cramps and spasms, bug bites, and it's also good for wounds. Okay, now this is just one book. But if we go to a different book, we have some options. Why is that? Why do we have one book to tell us one thing and maybe another book tells us something else? because it depends on where they're getting their information from. Okay, they're going to research and do and put out the research that they found and experiences. So there are different sources, and so if there are different experiences from different people, then that's what they're going to put out there. Okay, so the adrenal fatigue, okay, you can apply it directly under the nose, to the bottoms of the feet, back of your neck, your forehead. That's not here, that's up here. Never put it down by the eyes. And if you ever get essential oils in the eyes, do not flush with water. The reason you don't do that, let me take a drink. The reason that you don't do that is because water is a driver and it'll actually make you tear up even more. So what you want to do is apply with a cotton ball, a rag, or whatever you have, finger, and don't put it in the eye, but close your eye and put a carrier oil over the top of your eye. And keep your eyes closed as long as possible, or as much as possible, because that if you tear up, then you're going to feel it even more. You feel the effects. It will not make you go blind, but it will make you cry. Okay? And so just do that. It will dissipate after about 10 to 20 minutes, depending on you and how much you've got in the eye, but just don't use water because it will make it worse. Okay? If you've ever gone out to eat and you have a very spicy food, the number one thing that we reach for is our water. Well, usually that intensifies it. Okay, so that's what I want you to know, that it will intensify your essential oil in the eyes, so just don't use water. Okay, so we already talked about earache. And you can apply it behind the ear. You can go inside the canal, but not all the way down, just barely inside. Use a cotton swab if you're going to do that, okay? Never put anything all the way down. Never put a drop all the way down your canal. Please don't do that. I know there's people that do that with hydrogen peroxide. I'm like, really, you probably shouldn't be doing that. Should never put anything down the canal. Okay, if you have loss of smell, okay, a sense of smell, you can use basil. Who would have thought? You apply it under the nose and the toes to regain or increase the sense of smell. So who would have thought about that? You know somebody like that got older and they kind of like can't smell things anymore? What about migraines and dizziness? That's awesome. And apply with wintergreen or peppermint to the temples and back of the neck. Okay, the temples would not be right here. Go back to the hairline, all right? There again, so that you don't get it into your eyes, especially if you're using peppermint. Peppermint's got a lot of fumes, and it will, your eyes will know, okay? What about mental fatigue and focus? You can breathe it in, which I still have that on my finger. You can diffuse, which you can put it in a diffuser in your home, or across the forehead, up here. Okay, not down here, up here. If you're doing that, don't put a drop here. Put it on your finger or apply it with something along here, but don't just take the bottle and do that thing, because more likely it's going to give you that. So don't do that. Okay, we got some more things that it can do. What about nausea and cramping? You can either take it, put it in water, 1 or 2 drops, and drink it, or you put it in a capsule and take it internally, okay? Or you apply it topically to the abdomen, so the tummy area, around the belly button. Always go clockwise, not clockwise. So if you're going to rub it in, go clockwise, okay? Why do we do that? It's because our systems go clockwise. They don't go backwards. They go forward. Okay, so just remember that we want to go forward. Gout and rheumatism. apply to the spine. There again, you have a reflex point right here on the hand. So if we're going to use that reflex point, so you are going right along here, and there's the spine, okay? For those of you that cannot reach your spine or think you can. Your bottoms of the feet is another one. The ears, the ankles, and over the heart, okay? So why the ankles? Well, that's another place of being able to, for like the reflexology, okay? And over the heart. Why the heart? Gets into your bloodstream a lot faster, okay, for one. And you're going to calm the heart down. Okay, PMS, menstrual issues, apply to the lower abdomen to stimulate menstrual flow and assist with menstrual cramping. So if you have cramping, you can either apply it over the tummy area again. And there's another one that we have too that's called Calm. And I'm gonna have to look at that. I think there's basil in there. It's a blend from doTERRA, and it's an awesome blend. I'll tell you. In fact, I actually had someone come to the fair yesterday. She says, "I still have my Calm you gave me. It lasted for 3 years," and I'm like, "Woohoo, me too." I had to laugh about that because I was still there. It's like 3 years later, I'm still here. Okay. All right. Emotional imbalance. Use aromatically or topically to get from inundated, to get some relief, right? Muscle spasms, inflammation, apply to the spine or the bottoms of the feet, or take it in a capsule. So if you have that little bit of inflammation going on in the body, it can help in reducing that. What about bug bites, snakes, spider bites? You can diffuse it use a spray bottle with water to repel the insects, or you can apply it topically to a bite. So whether it's a spider bite, mosquito bite, that's another option that you can use. Now, since I talked about how your chemistry is different, everybody is different, right? Basil may not be the #1 for you when it comes to certain things. Just know that there are options, and there are other essential oils that you could look at for the same problem, but it may work better for you, okay? And that's another reason why I love the essential oils so much, because I can have one bottle and it can give me so many uses, okay? And it may not be the best for my partner or my kids or for me, but it's going to be something that will help. Even if you don't think it will help for whatever issue is going on, use it anyway. Use what you have. See if it works. Okay? Getting essential oils on you is better than not. And knowing that you have what you need for the things that go on in your daily life always helps us out. Okay? And so I am looking at another chart, and I'm going to give you some other information about basil. So this chart is the oil properties. Okay? This is what this is. I don't know if you can see that or not. But oil properties. So we talked about the compounds. So this is what I'm talking about. And basil itself is an analgesic. It's an antibacterial. It's anticatarrhal. It's an antidepressant. It's anti-anemetic. And it is an antihistamine, which is very interesting because most of us don't think of basil as an antihistamine. Anti-infectious, anti-inflammatory, antimicrobial, antioxidant. It is an antiseptic, antispasmodic. It is antiviral. It's very calming. It's a carminative, and it's a decongestive. So it's like, what all can you use that for? A whole variety of things, right? Even our respiratory. I'm like, so instead of just cooking with basil, what else are you actually helping your body with, right? And that brings me to cooking with essential oils, specifically basil. Basil is good in your spaghetti. Basil is good. Anything Italian, I think, is what most of us would think of basil, right? But here's what I'm going to say for the caution. First off, make sure that you can consume it. Second is, depending on what you're making, you may not need a whole drop. So if you're using it for the very first time, take a toothpick and dip a toothpick. Almost everybody has toothpicks. Take a toothpick, dip it, and then swirl it in whatever you're doing. Okay, whatever you're making. You can keep adding so that you know that you have the flavor that you want. Okay, instead of putting a whole drop in there and then realizing that you've got way too much and you've completely ruined your whole recipe. Okay, I know people that have done that with other essential oils, and they're like, oh my gosh. And then they finally throw it out because they can't eat it because it's just too much, especially oregano. So my caution to you is to make sure that you are either highly diluting it, so like I use it in a crock pot, and I cover my meat with water, and then I put my 1 drop of my essential oils in the water. Why I do that is because the meat as it cooks will absorb those not the herbs, but the essential oils that I put in there, like thyme or basil, rosemary, all those that we would normally cook with anyway, or fennel even. What do you want it to taste like? And sometimes though, it doesn't need that much. It's just the toothpick. Peppermint is one of those. The dip of a toothpick is really all you need if you want to have peppermint brownies. So it's fun to be able to pick up something that you know is pure, it's not an imitation, it's not an alcohol base. Because if you read the labels on all of your imitation stuff, you're not going to, if you really want to change the lifestyle, you're not going to want to use those. Those do go rancid because of the alcohol in them, okay? Essential oils will pretty much, they last a long, long, long time, okay? I'm not going to say that they last forever because that's not something I should tell you. But it is something that will last and be around for a long time, especially if it's never been open, okay? If it's been open, you have an evaporation process, okay? But doTERRA, I love because the integrity of the product, they're certified for a therapeutic grade, and every single bottle on the bottle has an expiration date, but it also has a batch number. And you can go to Source to You, and you can put that batch number in there, and it'll tell you exactly where it came from. doTERRA doesn't want to put blinders on your eyes, okay? They want you to know where your essential oils are coming from and to know that this is a pure product. And who else you get to help when you purchase a bottle of essential oils. That's the other part of doTERRA that I love is I get an awesome product, but I get to help service the world in other places where I've never been and probably never will be. But when I get to help them with a livelihood, a better life, and to help in sustaining their life, because they have nothing like I do, okay, then that makes me happy. Even if it was nothing else but the fact that, hey, I'm going to start thinking about essential oils through doTERRA because I get to help the world. I get to help service the world, okay? Think about that. All right, so that is our education today about essential oils and basil. Who knew what this one little bottle would do for you and how many things you could actually cover, right, besides cooking. So if you guys, anybody out there that has been, you have shared this video with somebody and you're watching this, if you would like to have the live or the replay links directly to your phone, then you would text the word at Heavens Oil. It's HEAVENS, Heavens, OIL, Heavens Oil, to the numbers 810, or the phone number 81010. So text at Heavens Oil to 81010, and that gives you the live and the replay links. We look forward to talking with you. We look forward to helping you understand more about essential oils. And I really do want to educate people, because education is power. And power, that knowledge, that power makes us feel good. Okay, not just the essential oils, it makes us feel good. That empowerment also. Join us every Monday at 9 a.m. Pacific time for this live link. And if you want to watch the replay, you can watch it anytime at your convenience. And you can find me on YouTube as well under Heaven Scent Oil. And that's scent, S-E-N-T, not the fragrance scent. As God gave us what we need, so let's use what He gave us and go back to the basics for our daily lives. So thank you for joining me today, and I appreciate every one of you. And if you always feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions, or if you just need me, it's heavenscentoil@gmail.com. We'll see you next week. Thanks, everybody.